Okay, it's Monday, so it's time to play some fighting games and answer some questions. I got an achievement, how about that? Probably for starting a replay. So, missed a week. In my defense, first off, I had a stomach bug. I still kind of do, not fully over it yet. And then, secondarily, after it got better, Strive came out, and I started playing a lot of Strive. We're playing Strive now. Look, it has my name on the fucking UI. How nice is that? Don't have to just explain where I am. So yeah, that's why we missed like a whole week. In all fairness as well, the stomach bug wasn't even that debilitating symptoms-wise, but I had fully convinced myself that I had colon cancer. This is the thing that when you're a hypochondriac, the most minor thing is just life-ending catastrophe. So, anyway, let's get on with it now. First up, I've accidentally clicked out of that window. Oh, fuck. Okay. What's the update on making a game and working with Unity? Ho ho ho, I feel utterly defeated by Unity is how that one's going. Programming's very hard when you have no knowledge of what the fuck you're doing. The problem is, the problem I have is that, like, even if I know a way that would, like, do what I need it to do, it's like, I can't conceptualize the way to get to that solution, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it's not going terribly well. Next up, are you planning on doing a reaction to E3 or watch party in the future? So the answer is probably pretty clear at this point, no. Even in the future, like, most big events like E3, publishers are figured out at this point that, like, they can just announce their big things whenever the fuck. So, like, E3 is usually, like, pretty fucking boring these days. Like, there's also very few event things that could be announced that would really get me terribly excited. So, no, basically. Yeah. So, and then next up, who gets your nano? And we got this picture right here of the Reinhardt and the Genji. And the correct answer is the hidden third option, the Lucio, that's about to jump in front of the Reinhardt when I try and nano boost him. That's who gets my nano boost. So there you go. Next up, safest heroes to one trick as. So, like, to be honest, do whatever the fuck. I mean, if we're talking, like, super safe consistency, then you can't really go wrong with, like, Reinhardt, Zarya, Lucio, Baptiste, you know? Like, these are heroes that are usually, like, okay, even if they're not the best choice. DPS, like McCree. McCree is always, like, fine, basically. Even if he isn't, like... McCree alternates on being the best hero in the game with some others, but, like, even when he's not the best hero in the game, like, he's fine. You know, he's basically always fine. Soldier's pretty consistent. Like, again, fits most circumstances. Not really much you can go wrong with. Because, like, if you're talking about a safe hero to one trick, that's what you basically mean, right? Like, you're looking for somebody that works in the most situations possible. Because, I mean, if you're one-tricking them, they gotta work in, like, every situation because you're not switching. So you gotta pick one that's just, like, broadly okay, even if they're not exceptional if you're looking for a safe one. But those would be mine. Rein, Zarya, Baptiste, Lucio, Soldier, McCree. Sometimes you'll end up with, like, the 2-off tank, 2-off healer situation if you go with Rein or Zarya, but, like, to be honest, doesn't really matter. You'll be fine, you know. Like, bad team comps win all the fucking time. Granted, it's one of those things that always feels like it's the other team's bad team comp that works. It never feels like it's your bad team comp that works. But trust me, bad team comps work. Don't worry too much about it. By the way, don't expect me to be playing too many characters in the background. I like Ramlethal and I like Giovanna. Those are the two I've been playing. Mostly Ramlethal. I love her. She's beautiful. My daughter is beautiful. She has a dog in her intro. She has 2 swords that she doesn't even physically wield. That's how much of a queen she is. She's got 2 minions that deal with it for her. Also, both the characters I like have dogs involved with them somehow, so, you know, nice little bit of symmetry there. Ramlethal's got a dog in her victory screen, and Giovanna, half her character is dog, so that's nice. Anyway. Next, where to go from Soldier 76? I mean, like, the problem is with, like, this kind of question is that there isn't really that much overlap for heroes in Overwatch in terms of skill. Like, even heroes that are, like, similar to each other still play really differently. I remember seeing, I think this was an email, actually. Someone was mentioning that they were playing, I think it was Anna they were trying to play, and then they tried to play Ashe. It might have been the other way around, and they were like, I thought it might work, because, like, they're both, like, snipers, but, like, it didn't work at all. I'm like, yeah, unfortunately not. The most, like, real crossover you get in terms of, like, going from one hero to another is pretty much, like, positioning. Like, some heroes position similarly to each other, and that's, like, kind of it, to be honest. Because, like, even, like, you go, like, Ashe, Widow are probably the 2 closest to each other in the entire game. They still, like, they're still really fucking different. Like, they don't even aim the same. Ashe feels really weird to aim as. I don't know if that, I know it's not just me, because I've seen people say this. Ashe just feels really floaty in comparison to the other hit scan heroes in a way that I have trouble articulating. So, like, you know, the most you get really is positioning. Like, someone like Soldier and Baptiste kind of want to position similarly. Even then, Baptiste, not really, even then, actually, because Baptiste, you kind of want to be in a position where you can take advantage of your powerful knees. So, like, Baptiste kind of likes to be on the low ground next to the high ground so he can, like, play jumpy back and forth with them, you know? Whereas Soldier just wants to be on the high ground. Ashe and Soldier, not Ashe and Soldier, Anna and Soldier position kind of similarly, you know, Zenyatta and Anna, I guess, like, that's the most you really get. So, like, where to go from Soldier 76? Wherever the fuck you want, really, because you're gonna be kind of fucked no matter what you do. So you might as well just go to a hero that you want to do, you know? In general, this is how I advise you deal with, like, any kind of, like, what character do I learn to play as kind of thing, right? In any game. Just pick the one you like, dude. Because, here's the even if you pick, like, the most noob-friendly or, like, the most top-tier character in the game, it doesn't really do anything for you if you don't know how to play him, right? 'Cause, like, that's the thing that people will tell you with a fighting game, is, like, just pick a top tier, right? Don't fucking do that, because the tier list doesn't mean shit until you already have, like, a basic understanding of the game. And, like, you're gonna be losing regardless of if you played the top tier, because you gotta learn. So, like, you can be in a situation where you're losing a bunch, and you're playing a hero you don't like either, so the game is just double unfun. Just play whatever character you fucking want. It doesn't, like, really matter, dude. You gotta learn how to play the game regardless, so you might as well just pick a character you like. Doesn't matter why you like him. Yeah, I picked Ramlethal here because I just like her design. She's attractive, okay? That's it. And I do like playing as her. Giovanna, same deal. That's why I picked them. They're just, a lot is drawn to them aesthetically. Pick whoever the fuck you want. If you think Bastion is the coolest dude in town, fucking play Bastion. Who am I to stop you, right? Who fucking do whatever the fuck you want. At the end of the day, it's a video game. Play whoever you want to play. Have fun playing the video game. Next up, does accuracy as McCree mean anything if you aren't consistently hitting crits? It's more important you hit them than you miss, is the basic gist here. Like, ideally you're getting the crits, right? But you gotta hit them. It's better to hit them than to miss. So, like, if you don't... Because here's the thing, it's not always feasible, even if you're somebody who can, like, consistently get the crits real easy, right? Sometimes it's just not feasible to get a crit from where you are. So you just don't even try for it, you just go for the shot that you know you can hit instead, you know? Like, ideally you're hitting the crits, but you just gotta hit them. That's the important thing. So, like, and this is true of, like, all the heroes, really. I would say Soldier, you have to worry about it significantly less than the others, but, like, all the other hit scan heroes that can headshot, because Anna can't headshot, just, like, first work on trying to hit them. Like, don't worry about crits while you're learning how to play the character, right? Don't even worry about it. If you get a crit, fantastic. If you don't, whatever. You're trying to learn how to aim to begin with. Just go for the hit. Worry about the crits later. Once you're feeling like you're pretty consistently able to hit the guy, then start going for the crits. But bear in mind that it's not always going to be super feasible to get a crit from, like, the position you're in, whatever's going on in the game. If you don't feel like you're confident you can land the crit on somebody, don't bother. Just go for the shot you know you can hit instead, because it's better to do some damage than no damage. Sometimes you don't really get a choice. You pretty much have to go for a crit or lose. Because, like, if you're in a position where you're out in the open and, like, Soldier's using Tac Visor, or, like, McCree starts using Deadeye, you've got to land the crit now. You know, you've got to do the crit. Even if you're not confident you're gonna hit him, you don't really get a choice in the matter. You just got to try and get him. But just doing damage is the most important part, more than anything else. So, like, don't worry about it while you're learning. Just go for the hits instead. Next up, how to climb out of bronze. So, here's the thing with bronze, right? Don't worry about literally anything except what you're doing. You cannot rely on anybody in the game to react normally to things, right? Don't bother playing around your teammates outside of, like, really fucking obvious shit. Like, you're playing Anna, you see Genji's got Dragon Blade. Try and use Nano Boost with Dragon Blade. Outside of, like, super clear stuff like that, don't bother engaging in teamwork. Don't bother expecting the enemy team to do this, that, or the other. Just worry about yourself more than anything else. Once you get to, like, gold, then start worrying about what other people are doing. But while you're in bronze, all that matters is what you're doing, right? So whatever character you're playing, you just, like, blindly try and do the thing that your character wants to be doing, and don't worry about anything else. Because you can't expect people to do shit the way that they should, right? This is a problem that people have, both in, like, the new player area and the experienced player trying to teach the new player. You have to teach a different set of skills for bronze, because a lot of advice you get given in Overwatch is completely meaningless until you get to, like, gold or plat. Because until you get to that point, it's like the Wild fucking West. People are just doing whatever the fuck. Let's go over to Faust. Faust's a fun one to watch. Like, there's wild animals everywhere. They're doing all kinds of shit. You can't, like, go with standard advice, right? Because, like, so advice you'll hear people give for, like, a Lucio is just sit next to your Reinhardt and speed boost him in, because you want Reinhardt, like, Lucio and Reinhardt synergize really well with each other. That's fantastic. But, like, if you're in bronze and they just see you sat next to your Reinhardt with your speed aura on, they're gonna be fucking mad at you. They're gonna be like, why is Lucio not fucking healing? He's a fucking healer and he's got the speed aura on. And then there's, you know, like, that's what happens if you even have a Reinhardt to begin with, right? Let's be real. That's expecting a lot. So, like, that advice for the Lucio player is completely fucking worthless while he's in bronze. Like, what you tell the Lucio to do is just do whatever the fuck. Just like, speed boost people when you can. Just heal people. People are not, like, gonna take advantage of your speed boost anyway. Just make sure people don't die. Go for, like, big YOLO plays if you think you can. You know, it doesn't really matter. Do whatever the fuck, like, you're trying to do. Have a plan for what you're trying to do and just do that. Don't worry about anything else. I'm playing Lucio. Alright, like, all my team are fucking stupid. I'm just gonna sit with the healing aura on because they're just taking a bunch of fucking damage. It's okay, the other team's bad. They'll probably not kill them through the healing anyway. You know, that kind of shit. Or, like, I'm pretty good mechanically. I'm just gonna fucking go and bully their backline because they're in bronze also, so they probably can't stop me. At least not properly. Now, the reason that people will tell you not to do that is because they'll say something like, oh, you shouldn't tell people to do stuff like this because they'll start building bad habits. I got bad news for you. People will build bad habits regardless of what you tell them. That's just how it is. People build bad habits even if they know what they're supposed to be doing. You still end up building bad habits. If you want to... I know what I'm meant to do with Ramlethal, right? What I'm not meant to do is throw my sword when I'm in mid-screen, because Ramlethal is really weak without her swords. Just watch and see how many times I chuck my swords at mid-screen, right? It doesn't really matter if you can carry them to the corner like that with it, but, like, you're meant to use them for, like, corner stuff. But I still keep chucking them in mid-screen anyway, because, like, I haven't got the right combo in muscle memory, so I keep just going, throw the sword, throw the sword. You build bad habits even if you know what you're meant to be doing. So, like, do whatever the fuck works, right? Like, if it works, that's literally all that matters. Do whatever works, and if you develop a bad habit, whatever, you can figure that out and resolve that problem later. That's a problem for future you. Present you is concerned with winning the video game. So just do what fucking works and don't worry about it. If you develop bad habits, whatever, sort those out later. Just do whatever works. Just have your plan, fucking go for it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, learn from that mistake. You know, was it a bad call? Did I just execute it poorly? You know, figure it out, go from there, learn going forward, right? But just do whatever the fuck. Just worry about what you're doing. That's how you get out of bronze. Don't try and do anything like team play-wise or counterplay-wise until you get to, like, gold. Maybe high silver. Just worry about yourself until that point. Next up, what is my plan with Tracer? Did I not answer this question once before? I feel like I might have left this question over from a previous week. Whatever. We're doing this week. This is the question we're answering. So the game plan with Tracer is you're pretty much trying to bully the backline as much as you can. The cool thing with Tracer is that she kills someone real fucking fast, right? So, like, what you're really trying to do is just, like, hover around their backline. You can harass them if you want. Like, I find there's, like, two kind of ways to go with it with Tracer, where I see some people never harass from, like, kind of far away, and they just kind of go for, like, a kind of like a stealth hero gameplay, where they're, like, just creeping around trying to get up and, like, one-clip somebody. Or they're more just trying to exert pressure. So they're just hovering around the backline, being like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, and you just keep harassing their backline. Not really going for a kill unless you see a super good opportunity. But more just kind of like hanging out back there, like, I'm fucking back here. You gotta pay attention. Somebody's gotta stay near the back line, because if they don't, I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna kill Anna, and she's not gonna be very happy about it. And then they still go for the kill if they get the opportunity, obviously. But that's kind of secondary to them to just exerting pressure on the back line. And I've seen both work, so like I guess kind of whichever work you prefer. Regardless of what you are doing, you should be prepared to do something like just hang out on high ground and bully the tank. Because there are going to be certain situations you're in where, like, there's just feasibly nothing you can do right now. Because the whole enemy team is just, like, really close-knit, hanging out with each other. So there's just kind of, you can't realistically get in and do anything right now. So something you can do to just fill space, basically, is hang out, like, kind of far away, hang out on high ground, and just shoot their tank. And the tank, the tank is not going to like this very much. Like, when you're playing Reinhardt, and the Tracer is shooting you in the back, you feel a very strong compulsion to turn around and block the Tracer, even if that is the wrong thing to do. So it's like, because you can't realistically actually exert much pressure right now, this is kind of the most pressure you can do, and you're building ult charge while you're doing it. Because that's when you're going to run into, like, the most trouble with Tracer, is when the enemy team is, like, doing something really degenerate and disgusting, like helping each other. So you need something to do in the meantime, which is really just, like, bully a tank. Because tanks, outside of Roadhog, they can't realistically kill you, and they're very big, so they're very easy to hit from far away, thereby letting you build ult charge. And then when you have your ult built up, Pulse Bomb is really good at punishing teams that are sat on top of each other. So you just harass the tank, build up some ult charge, just triple blink in, throw that Pulse Bomb in there, and recall away. And then, because they're all close-knit together, hopefully you killed one or two people, you know? Because, like, that's when it gets hard to play Tracer, when they start using degenerate tactics like that. So you've got to do something degenerate yourself in return, which basically means bullying the less privileged, which are the tanks, of course. But that's kind of it. Like, the thing with Tracer is that she's kind of like an all or nothing hero in this way, right? Where, like, you've pretty much got to be hanging out behind the team doing something, because Tracer is, like, with Genji, you can be behind the enemy team doing stuff, or you can be with your team playing, like, pokey harassy, go in when you get the chance. You can't really do that with Tracer. You know, like, Tracer is not much of, like, a front line, like, play with your team, then go in when you see an opportunity kind of character, right? You've pretty much got to be going in and trying to create opportunities, which basically means going around behind them and bullying people, pretty much. You can't really do anything else. She's just not really that kind of hero. She's kind of the only flanker, now that I think about it, that's like that. Because all the other flankers, you can kind of play with your team, right? Like, Doomfist, you can frontline and brawl it out with Doomfist, right? Like, yeah, he's really good at flanking also. But, like, you can, like, brawl it out frontline with Doomfist. Same deal with Reaper. You can just, like, walk in with your tanks and bully their tanks, right? Genji can sit and poke with Shuriken. Sombra can basically play like a mini soldier with more CC. Like, you can just sit with your team as Sombra. You're not really getting, like, full value out of Sombra, I don't think, but you can do that. Tracer's the only one that's, like, you have to be playing, like, at least sort of aggressively. You can't really play passively with your team on Tracer. Maybe if you're in, like, fucking Overwatch League or something. I don't know. I don't watch them. But, like, for you and me, we gotta be going in. We gotta be going in. So, let's see. What time are we at? I can't see my fucking timer. Oh, fantastic. We're about on schedule for the last question. So, last question for this week is it bad that I can't play any other DPS except really easy to play as? That is how it's written, which is a little confusing, but, like, you can only play the easy-to-play DPS characters. Like, that's fine, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever the fuck. If, like, everybody's different, right? Like, don't worry about this kind of shit too much, because everybody's different, and everybody plays games differently. Everybody has a natural affinity for certain kinds of characters. And there are some characters they really don't jive with. Look at that guy. So, like, I'm playing Ramlethal. I like Ramlethal. I was drawn to her. That guy, Zato, is, like, my worst nightmare. I can't even fathom trying to play as Zato. Because, like, you might be wondering what the fuck is even going on watching Zato. Zato's a puppet character. So you've got Zato, but then his shadow is, like, a separate character. I forget, Eddie, I think its name is. I always want to call him Johnny, but I know it's not Johnny. That was a different character. I think it's Eddie. Like, Eddie is separate to him and kind of doing his own thing. He's got, like, a gauge above his tension meter over here. That's, like, how much, like, at the Eddie bar. So he can do stuff with Eddie while that bar's got some juice in it. But, like, I can't, like, he's a super, like, setup-heavy character, basically. I can't even imagine playing as him. Me, I like Ramlethal. Big buttons, unga bunga. Smack them from half screen because big swords. That's what I'm about. Giovanna, very fast, very fun. Like, oh, fuck, get it kind of zoned out. That's okay. She fucking zoops across that map like nobody's business. Everybody's drawn to, like, certain characters. It's just how it is. I also can't imagine playing, like, Soul BADGUY because he's just, like, the most boring motherfucker imaginable, pretty much. Holy shit. Certain people just have certain affinities with certain things. And, like, that's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, so what if you can only play the easy characters? Who gives a fuck? Are you having fun playing the easy characters? That's all that really matters, right? You know, hopefully you're doing well with them as well. Like, that's, you're saying, I can't play as any other, so I assume. That's fine, whatever. Who cares? If you like them, or you're getting good results on them, and that's all you really care about, fuck it, whatever, who cares? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you can't play, like, Widowmaker or some shit. Doesn't matter. Who cares? By the way, right, this is something to bear in mind with video games. You don't ever actually have to get good at them, right? Like, that's not something you actually have to do. It's something that many of us want to do, of course. We want to be good at the video game. I want to be good at the video game. I try to help people be good at the video game. But, like, you don't ever actually have to get good. Like, that's not something you actually have to do, right? Like, you can just play the game, and that's fine. You don't have to be the best. Like, some people like to set, like, goals for themselves. I find the goal people usually set for themselves is Diamond. They want to get to Diamond. That tends to be the goal people have. You don't ever actually have to get to Diamond. Like, that's not something that ever actually has to happen. It's nice to have the goal, but, like, it's okay if that doesn't happen. Like, as long as you're having fun playing the game, that's kind of all that matters. Boy, did I play against that Zato a lot, huh? Let's go over to, you know. Yeah, like, you don't ever actually have to get good. Like, you never actually have to play the hard characters. That's fine. People play video games for different reasons, so you can do whatever, dude. It's fine. Don't worry about it so much. That's kind of all I have to say about it. But now we got to do the full set with this Eno player, haven't we? That's okay. Strive games are pretty short. The damage is big in Strive, and you haven't got to work through like 3 characters like you do with fighters. I'm having a lot of fun with Strive. It's very nice that I kind of don't have to learn how to play a fighting game again. So I've sort of immediately seen better results than I did with fighters. Fighters took a really long time for me to even just get decent at that game. But like I have seen decent results with Strive immediately, because now I'm kind of like, the big thing with fighting games is you eventually stop panicking. That's the big thing, is that you're not panicking anymore. Now I can be down to the last hit point. It doesn't even fucking phase me anymore, brother. The only hit point that matters is the last one. None of the other hit points matter. I don't know why I suddenly got really passionate about that, but like, the last hit point, that's all that matters. I do kind of hate like Strive's ranking system. So like, you usually just have a number, right? And that number increments as you win and lose. So Strive has the tower system, and how the tower system works is that, so you go into this little tower where you're like a little Habbo Hotel character. And you're only allowed on certain floors. The floor dictated by your skill level. Which is, so if you're a floor 4 character, you can only go down to floor 4 or up. You can't go below that, because it's like 4 is the skill you're at. So like you can't go below and like bully lower rank players, but they can come up if they want. So there's like the ranking is just which floor you're on, pretty much. I'm consistently hanging out on floor 10, which is like, this is so fucking stupid to describe. It's the floor right before heaven. So like it's kind of the barrier to the like high skill area, which is heaven. You have to pass like a little gauntlet to actually get into heaven. So you're on floor 10, and then eventually the game goes, all right, you're ready to challenge to get into heaven now. And then it goes, win 5 out of 6 games. And I go, oh Jesus fucking Christ, why? So you're allowed to win. You're allowed to lose 1 game. That's your wiggle room. You gotta win 5 games out of 6 games. You get 1 game you're allowed to lose, and that's pretty fucking brutal. I've been in, I think, 4 or 5 attempts to get into heaven, and the closest I've gotten was 3 out of 6. It's hard to get into heaven. Maybe I'm just bad. I don't know. I find it really hard to figure out exactly, like, the skill level with the fucking tower. Because it's like, alright, I'm floor 10. It doesn't feel as good as saying, like, it doesn't seem as obvious as if you just say, I'm in Diamond, right? Or, like, I'm Living Legend or something, which would be fighters, right? Like, I'm Living Legend, I'm Super Saiyan Rose. Like, it's a little easier to conceptualize that than, oh yeah, I'm on floor 10. Well, is that good or is that bad, right? Because you're climbing the tower, but at the same time, it kind of seems weird to say, like, oh yes, 10 is good, 1 is bad. You know, it's kind of weird. I don't like it. Here's the thing I really don't like, though. So, you're allowed to play against somebody 3 times, like straight rematch with them 3 times, and then it just goes no more. That's the rematch limit. So it makes you play like a best of 3, basically. This is kind of hard to explain, but like, so, suppose you and me are playing. I win 2 games, right? This is a best of 3. So I've won the set now because you can't get more than 2. You can't get more than 1 anymore. It's a best of 3. We're playing 3 games. But with Strive, so we could be playing each other, and I could beat you twice in a row. And then it'll still let you play the 3rd round. And then if the guy that lost the 2 previous rounds wins the 3rd round, it still just kicks you out because it goes, that's the rematch limit. At that point, like, let the guy play the best of 5, right? Like, it's just kind of weird that it goes, all right, 1-2, you've won the set, but you can play the 3rd game for kicks, whatever. Other guy wins, all right, get out, get the fuck out. All right, that's your limit, that's your law, get the fuck out. If the guy wins the 3rd round, change it to a best of 5. It's fucking weird, and I really don't like that. Apparently I played against this Eno 4 times. We'll only do the 3. I think I already did 2, so I think I already won 2. Whatever, we're doing the 3. Whatever, I'm complaining about the video game I really like. But, like, that's kind of it. Like, I don't really have any other complaints with Strive, to be honest with you. I guess, like, I think Throw's a little too good, because there's, like, a bunch of shit that Throw just, like, stops. Like, I don't really like that, strictly speaking. Like, right there. There's a lot of landing recovery, so if you don't, like, do that, like, the landing properly, the guy that you, like, jumped in on, he could block you, but, like, if you didn't do it right, he could just grab you, and then suddenly you're in the corner. And, like, sure, you fucked up because you didn't do the jump pressure properly, I guess, but, like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to be like, alright, he blocked, alright, I got thrown in the corner. It's just kind of weird, you know? Like, you like, if I'm doing some kind of weird setup, I guess, whatever, but it's like, I could land, but, like, I didn't do my attack close enough to the ground, so he's not enough hit stun, so, like, I'm mashing jab, and he just throws me. Anyway, I'm bad, it's okay. There's other stuff, like Eno's little slide along the ground. The longer version, you can just throw her out of it. It's kind of weird. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Leo, who you haven't seen, has, like, a side switch. But, like, you can just... If you see him start side switching, you just throw. And you'll get him. Like, stuff like that's kind of weird. I don't really like that. But, like... you know, this is mostly me nitpicking. Like, I really like the game. I think it's great. If you've never played a fighting game before and you want to, I think Strive is a pretty good one to get in on. Like, it's pretty designed to be new player friendly. So, like, if you've ever wanted to, like, this is a pretty good one to try and get in on. And, like, just play Giovanna. She's really easy. She's, like, very new player friendly if you've never played a fighting game before. She's very new player friendly. Still play whoever the fuck you want. Like, don't worry about it too much. If you really fucking like Eno's, like, kind of intense to play. But, like, if you really like Eno, just fucking play Eno, dude. Whatever. Like, fucking have fun playing the video game. But if you want an easy character, Giovanna's pretty easy. A lot of her moves are multi-hitting. She's very fast. She has a mechanic where the more meter she has, the stronger she is. You're not going to know what to do with the meter when you're starting out, so, like, that kind of helps in its own way, because you get stronger with the resource, even if you're not spending it. It's just making you stronger. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. More than happy to answer. If you have a question you'd like answered on the show, please submit it via your method of choice. Email, comment, whatever the fuck you want, ESP, fucking... I don't know. Leave me alone. I start streaming on Twitch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m. EST, 11 EST. There's a channel description. If you manage to make it away for the video and someone still enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe for more content and building quality in the future. I'll be from the video hopeful.